People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, I believe Reiss Nelson is more than a 10. We'll get on to that. I was going to make it two separate vids, but we'll speak, we might as well speak about how we did against Croatia. As you know, Croatia and England, the last game for both teams, I believe, in this tournament, they drew 3-3. This game had similar themes in regards to England, lack of concentration, stupid individual mistakes which have been a part. I mean, Dean Henderson is a bad boy keeper. I think he's got a lot of potential. But one concern I have of his is his kicking. You look at his direct kicking for, I believe, the second goal. It led to a goal. Lloyd Kelly, a player that was linked with Arsenal, a player that got his first start along with Nelson, switching off. Who else is there? John Joe Kenny, I know he scored a banger and he's going to Schalke on loan next season and he scored a good goal. But for the first goal they conceded, I mean, he's a right back. He's near his own area. He's inviting them inside. I mean, what is this? This is not England under 17s, under 18s, where they've barely made professional appearances. John Joe Kenny's been in and around the first team for Everton for how long now? Tomori's been at Derby for how long now? Kelly's been at Bristol or wherever for how long now? Henderson playing at Sheffield United for how long now? An inability to make the right decisions collectively, because even in the game, Tammy Abraham hit the post. I was thinking, get your head up and pass it. These are players. These are the most experienced players at this level. Gray's shown his patches, but Gray's been inconsistent. I believe even Maddison's been inconsistent. I believe the only player, and it even is gassing it a bit, because no one was amazing at this tournament. It is probably Phil Foden for me. I don't feel any England player was amazing, and it was quite disappointing considering that a lot of these players have made a lot of appearances in the Prem for the Championship, and whatnot. It was terrible. Some of the things I was seeing, I couldn't believe I'm seeing from these players. I ain't even seen England's under 17s do it collectively, people, in this game and collectively. Romania, Croatia, we did alright against France, threw it away against France. In the last 10 minutes or so, they conceded two. Street smartness. A lot of these players want to go on to do bigger and better things, but they have to be experienced, people. They've been unstuck time and time again, and it is quite jarring. Like I said, we'll get on to Reiss Nelson. We'll get on to Reiss Nelson in a bit, to be fair with you people, in regards to me saying he's more than a winger. But in regards to the game, I believe he's more than a winger purely because we know at Arsenal, yeah, and I've purposely, the front three and our fullback, we know at Arsenal we need a man to hug that touchline. Sorry, people. We need a man to hug this touchline and take on, just to make it a bit better, and take on this guy and destroy him and stuff. Because more often than not, we're all narrow, and it just invites the left back, and if there's a left winger to go, apologies people, a left back and a left winger to go forward, and it invites pressure on us and can lead to efforts at our goal, and things like that. So we need a player like Nelson, apologies for not holding it, to want to take a man on and things like that consistently, people. Let me remove that. Wait, that's our right back. Take a man on consistently. But the game's changed, people. If I move this a bit for you to make it a bit better, the game's changed now. Remember what I said to you about Mo Salah? This is Nelson. About Mo Salah and all of these players. We need him to be in wide areas, obviously, people, and stretch the field, not just him on the other side. But that's not where the game is. That's all for the fullbacks now. Arsenal we should be doing that. We should be bringing both fullbacks up. Forgive me quickly, people, while I find another one. Like you see with Arsenal, with our fullbacks, both fullbacks should be squeezing along with our front three or front two or whatever. Do you get it, people? That's what we should be doing. I think Nelson is more than a winger, and one reason I believe he'll be cool at Arsenal, and it doesn't have to be like that, it's because he comes inside a lot. He recognises that he has to do his job defensively out wide and offensively there, but he comes inside. He wants to link up with his teammates. Even got to look at the goal he conceded. I mean, he scored. He came off the flanks. He linked up well. Obviously, then trickled into the box. His leg was taken by a Croatia man. He then took the penalty. We go 1-0 up. I believe this is helping Nelson because, again, people, you can imagine this. You have a one winger that people think, you have Aubameyang and Lacazette. There's too much space, people. When what you ideally want to see is people closer together. Yes, he has to occupy the flanks, but 9 times out of 10, he's got to be closer, people. Like I said, this area is for the fullbacks. He has to go out there to help them. And this is let's just say this is Nelson and Lacazette. Now they have to go out there and help them, people, of course, but they have to also be closer. And also, if we forget that this is Lacazette and Nelson and put these to Xhaka and Torreira, for example, our strikers should be able to do their thing there with our midfielders supporting the fullbacks if the wingers can't and protecting. I don't feel Xhaka's necessarily mobile enough for that, but it's not going to be one winger. Yes, there's games where there's going to be Aubameyang or Lacazette and a winger. There's going to be games where you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette and Nelson. I believe that's the thing, people. Inside forwards, Nelson has more joy when he's playing inside. He wants to come inside and connect with his teammates. Like you saw in that game, he took a man down the wing. What was it? For what goal? He went down I think for Maddison's goal, people, he went down the flank. It wasn't the best of crosses, but because he simply put the ball into the box, people, and it was a poor header from the Croatian lad, he scored. So Nelson can do the out wide thing, people. But in terms of general link-up play, he's got to come inside, people. Lacazette and Aubameyang all have got to link up. There's different options. There's games Nelson will probably be like that. There'll be games where you've got Aubameyang and Lacazette. There'll be games Nelson is not even involved at all, people. It's about having that option. For me, he's simply more than a winger, people. And it's naive to suggest that he's going to hug that touchline, because it would actually harm our play if he hugs that touchline too often than not. It's about balance. We need him to go out there and do his thing. But I believe he's more than a winger, people. Honestly, I believe he's more than a winger. And he can really, really help us in terms of his link-up play and stuff, man. Let's take our time with him. Let him develop and whatnot. But he really could be a player, man. He really could be a player. What other goals? The 2 goals England conceded was poor. I'm sure Nelson was involved in 2 of the goals via indirectly as well. I could be wrong on that. But in general, in regards to his performance in his first start against Croatia, he was constantly involved. They weren't the best of games from anyone, but he was constantly looking to be involved. He was linking up. He was having more joy, like I said, when he's coming off the flanks and linking up with his teammates. He showed he showed a good play to, obviously, from a wide area. He put the ball, like I said, people. He put a ball in from a wide area, people. That's what he did. He got at his fullback. He put a ball in. Poor clearance defensively from the header. It fell to Maddison and he smashed it in, essentially, people. If you never put the ball in, you don't know. So I feel Nelson in his first start did what he wants. Of course, it's not the tournament he would have hoped. He would have hoped to have had it similar to Bielik in that he's starting, he's scoring, and you can't almost ignore him, sort of thing. But I believe he's had a good season. 1 game, 1 goal from him for England, even though it was a pen. He's got a lot to be confident in his own natural abilities about, man, and go forward with. So I don't feel I have anything more to say on that front. If we just touch on Guendouzi quickly, obviously he got his first start for France as well, and I think he did all right. In regards to Guendouzi, he showed what we've seen at Arsenal all season. I think positional discipline is something that's got to come into his game. Is he a box-to-box midfielder? Is he a deep-lining playmaker? Because he shows a willingness to put himself around. And I like that, but at times you can class that as being indisciplined. And he took a nasty foul from I think Hagi against Romania in the 29th minute. Very nasty foul, but looking to the ref. You can't keep looking to the ref to play to the whistle. The ref isn't going to save you. Tournaments like this, it will. But I think it's now time for Guendouzi to play with slightly more maturity. Again, he's still a young man and I'm not expecting fireworks. But he's played enough times now to know what he does right and what's done wrong. He's played enough times now to critically assess himself, really and truly. He's played over 40 times for Arsenal and how many times for Lorient. In the grand scheme of things, it's not the most experienced of footballers, but he's experienced enough to know what goes right and goes wrong. So while I'm not expecting him to fix it all within a season or so, people, I need to see certain improvements from him, to be fair. But he had a decent game and whatnot. It wasn't the most best of games. It finished 0-0. Again, both teams didn't really want to go for it because Romania and France, if it did stay the result it did, both teams go through, which they are. Can't remember if Dragomir came on. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But it's nice to see that our Arsenal lads are there. I feel Bielik had a good tournament and Poland had a number of good players that I'll be surprised if they don't go on and get moves in the near future. I think they had some good lads. What else is there? There's also, as well? I think Romania, you've got Hagi, you've got, Puskas, 23-year-old up front. He looks all right. You've got Man, you've got Coleman. There's a couple Romanian players that can go on to find decent European clubs. Hagi as well, previously at Fiorentina, back in his homeland. Must admit, I do find him a bit hot on cold, people. I think he's got lovely ability, good work rate, good technical abilities, can deliver good set pieces and corners, but I think he makes the wrong decisions too often than not. He's trying to score from stupid angles from free kicks where he just needs to deliver it. Like I said, a bit hot and cold. I do think he's good enough to find a move somewhere, but they'd have to be patient. I don't think he's ready to hit the ground running. Maybe that's why it didn't work out for him at Fiorentina. I don't have an informed opinion on that, so I won't comment. But in regards to Reiss Nelson against Croatia and some general points in regards to, I believe, how he can be used more than just a wing or just assuming he's going to hug the touchline, even though we need him to do it, I'm out. We've also touched on Guendouzi briefly as well, people. So without wasting any more of your time, I've been here for 10 minutes or so now, people. Deluded, I'm out. Let me keep it moving. Thank you for watching and rocking each and every time. I'm out.